Hey music lovers, get ready to upgrade your vinyl experience. Today we're unveiling the 5 best turntables of 2024. From classic vibes to modern tech, these picks suit every budget. Let's spin into it.
We've made it as easy as possible to enjoy your vinyl recordings with the Alva TT V2 turntable. Most of the complicated calibration is done by the experts at our factory, but there are a couple of relatively simple steps you need to follow in order to get started. I've been taking these things apart since I was 5 years old, so I've had a lot of practice putting them back together again, and that's what I'll show you today. A turntable is an entirely mechanical method of music reproduction, from the stylus that tracks the grooves to the motor that spins it. It can be sensitive to outside influences. A flat surface, away from any potential sources of vibration, is highly recommended. We don't package the turntable with the platter attached. It's heavy, we wouldn't want it moving around during transit and causing damage. Place it on the base plate over the spindle. Next, attach the head shell to the tone arm and tighten the collar. The last piece that needs attaching is the tone arm counterweight. We leave this off to save the tone arm from undue stress in the box. Simply push and rotate onto the thread. The next thing to do is set the tracking force. This is the pressure the stylus applies to the record. Too much pressure and the stylus won't track the grooves properly, causing distortion and lost information, as well as causing avoidable wear to your records. Too little and the stylus will jump and potentially damage your records. So you can see the value in getting it right. Correctly set counterweight makes sure the stylus rests properly in the groove of the record, and you use this force gauge to get the right balance. The tracking force required varies by tone arm and cartridge. The Alva TT V2 tone arm and cartridge combination needs a tracking force of 2 grams. It doesn't sound like much, but when you consider the minute size of the stylus, it's plenty. Before you go any further, ensure the bias dial is set to 0. We'll come back to this once we've set the counterweight. Place the gauge on the platter, unclick the tone arm and remove the cover from the cartridge. Rest the stylus on the appropriate point on the gauge, in this case 2. You want the gauge to balance on its pivot point unassisted. It's advisable to make your adjustments with the tone arm in the armrest to avoid potential damage to the cartridge. If the stylus pushes the gauge down, it's too heavy and you need to move the counterweight towards the back of the tone arm. If the gauge pushes the stylus up, it's too light. Move the counterweight forward. This part requires a little bit of care and patience, but don't be put off. Once you've got the gauge balanced, go back to your bias dial. As the stylus runs through the groove of a record, it's pulled towards the centre. The bias setting allows us to apply an opposite force to ensure the stylus stays upright and reads both sides of the groove equally, which is vital for accurate stereo playback. Set the bias dial to position 2 in order to match the tracking force, and we're nearly there. Once you've fitted the dust cover using the supplied hinges, you'll need to decide how to connect your turntable to your amp. Wired, wireless, or both. If you choose wired, remember that the Alva TT V2 has a quality switchable phono stage built in. A phono stage is a specialist piece of amplification equipment that can take the tiny level of current generated by the cartridge and amplify it to a level where a regular amplifier can work with it. Some amplifiers have a phono stage built in. If you already have a phono stage in your system and you want to connect to it, it is vitally important that the one inside Alva TT V2 is switched to the phono position, otherwise it won't sound good and could damage your speakers. If you don't already have a separate phono stage, switch the Alva TT V2 to line. If you're unsure about this step, you should consult your owner's manual before making any connections. If you go down the wireless route, you'll need to pair the Alva TT V2 with a Bluetooth receiver, either a speaker, an amplifier, or a set of headphones. Ideally, your receiver should be aptX HD certified. No worries if not, the Alva TT V2 supports Bluetooth connections up to and including aptX HD. To start the pairing process, we advise turning off all Bluetooth devices other than the Alva TT V2 and the device you want to pair it to. Then activate your device's pairing mode. Turn on the Alva TT V2 and press the Bluetooth pairing button located on the rear for 2 seconds. The blue LED will flash quickly to indicate it's in pairing mode. Once successful, the blue LED will stop flashing and it will enter paired mode. A solid light indicates a standard Bluetooth connection, whilst long solid intervals indicate a higher quality aptX HD connection. Once you've paired the turntable, it will automatically pair to the last device, so no need to go through setup again. Finally, and most importantly, sit back and enjoy listening.
In my room, music takes me to my ideal space, a place of artistry, passion, and detail. There, I can feel a halo of warmth cascading in waves. It's my world, encircled by beauty.
If you enjoyed the video, please click the like button, leave a comment, and subscribe to my channel.